Hey, keeping up with how the city of Houston and its elected officials are spending your tax dollars is a full-time job. And that is why we have a team staying on top of all of it for you. And this is also why we host Pop-Off Politics every Tuesday morning. The KPRC2 Investigates team looks at the agenda items for the city and tells us what we need to know. Joining me like he does every Tuesday morning is KPRC2 investigative reporter Mario Diaz. Mario, how are things shaping up this week, sir?
Well, we're doing okay. I'm sorry I'm not there in the studio. I'd love to talk about, Taco Tuesday and the weather and all the things with Anthony there, which I thought was very intriguing while waiting this. But we have the elections tonight, so I got to work the evening. Got some big races, so this is why we're in, kitchen this morning, Zach. Just want to make sure that we're not going back to the 2020 spring of. With regard to COVID.
Hey, before we get into this week's segment, speaking of kitchen, did you do some renos on your, it looks like the cupboards are a different color, no? I feel like every time.
No.
No?
No, this is, no.
The bar area, the bar area, it's always been dark? It's always a two-tone?
No, the CEO of the house runs a pretty tight ship, as you know. She's got class, got style. She knows how to really treat this, and she's
We'll tell her, yes, it looks beautiful. Okay, so let's talk. What's up first?
How we're shaping up.
Yeah.
Let me talk about how we're shaping up. I got the numbers up. Why is this important? Because we have 55 agenda items this week.
Ooh,
55.
Busy week.
Yeah, and that's the biggest we've seen here.
Yeah.
So far, Zach.
Yeah, it certainly is. Okay, so we're starting with agenda item number 20, right?
Yeah, that's the one we're going to talk about first. Let me get my notes here because I don't have the magic of that robotic thing in front of us called the prompter. It's agenda item number 20. Here it is. It's United Airlines and Bush International Airport. You remember last week we showed off Jim Sizniak, the new airport director, Jim Sizniak. He got approved by City Council. Well, this is going to be one of his first big moves. He's asking here to move, let me get this correct now, $150 million from the Airport Systems Consolidated 2011 Construction Fund for a memorandum agreement between the city and United. Now remember, okay, United and the city is moving forward with this I'm tripping up over this one. Oh my goodness.
It's because it's a big number.
$2.5 billion project expanding operations within Terminal B. That's $2.5 billion, Zach.
Now, if I recall, it wasn't very long ago you were actually talking about this plan, right? We touched upon it last week, and then throughout the cycle of this.
At the end of the Turner administration, you remember that this came up? Mm-hmm. This came up at the end of the Turner administration. He had people that are tagging it. But the reason they are doing this is because they're going to get 40 new gates. Then they get, everything. Pops, buzzers, whistles, everything. Security, baggage, new stores, new restaurants. But we're updating the airport. Mm-hmm. Now, what's intriguing here again is that we're dealing with another project at the same time, which is the IH International Terminal Project. There's also talk about redoing Terminal A. So it looks like what you're going to be seeing here is a big old new, you're talking about the reconstruction of the kitchen, which hasn't happened, by the way. You're talking about a whole new paint job here, Zach.
Yeah.
And a whole new reconstruction of Bush Intercontinental Airport.
Well, I'm so glad, I don't know if you realize this, but you used the term another. And I know a lot of people listening, watching right now, that's exactly how they feel. Oh, great. Another project for Bush. Is this going to be an inconvenience?
I'm pumping the brakes on this one. And here's why, okay? Because while you do have a project at the International Terminal, which we have reported on extensively, showing it went from $700 million all the way up to $1.7 billion, $900 million, $1.7 billion under the previous mayor, Mayor Turner. He brought it back down, said, hey, I'm saving everybody money. I'm going to make it $1.2 billion. In reality, that's about $300 million more. But then under Mayor Turner, it continued to go back up again with the former airport director, Mario Diaz, no relation, $1.4 billion, $1.43 billion. But they don't have an anchor tenant, so to speak, right?
Yeah.
In this case, United is going to be putting up $1.9 billion. And the city is going to fund $624 million. Okay? So that's what we're looking at this time around. So before everybody goes, oh, wait a second. Yes, you are paying for a little bit of it, but United's the one that's picking up most of the tab, according to all the documentation that we have seen provided to the city. Now, it's expected to create about 3,000 new jobs, and at the same time, this is what makes this agenda item interesting, is that Mayor Whitmire and his team put out a statement last Friday, big old press release, saying they are excited about this agenda item coming onto the agenda list this Wednesday. They are excited about seeing this happen. They are excited about seeing a new Terminal B. And that's the first time, Zach, that I can recall in quite some time in which you actually had a mayor touting a project that was going to be passed through city council.
Yeah, excitement. It can be refreshing. Okay, where are we flying for this second agenda item?
All right, for south, you got Bush. I'm Bush over here, right?
Up on the north side, yeah.
Down over here, and down low, you got something called you got Ellington, right?
Yes.
So we're gonna head down south to Ellington. That's going to be for a $16 million contract, for my notes here. And what this is going to be is they're going to be talking about the requests for proposals. This is the RFP. Other people know them as RFQs, requests for quotes. But the city has heard from several companies with regard to this contract, and it's planning to move forward with a specific company called Texas, forgive me if I get this wrong, Texas Sterling Benicki JV. Okay, they're the ones that are putting forward this RFP for a $16 million. It appears they're going to be landing this contract. See what I did there, Zach?
Yeah.
This contract.
Okay, so wait, talk to me about, I understand, is this going to deal with the new Houston Spaceport, this specific project?
Let me tell you what it's going to deal with, okay? You're going to have a brand new runway. Brand new runway that they're looking to put in. Okay, they're looking to obviously do taxiways, new runway connect Houston Spaceport, and you got to remember something. Ellington Airport is going to now have direct access to the spaceport, but this has been a project that's been in the move or on the move now for several years. They've been talking about this airport right beside the Johnson Space Center to become a spaceport with the potential of sometime down the road, we don't know exactly specifically when, they're going to have travel to and from space. That's the plan. That's what they've been talking about through the Houston Spaceport. Makes sense. It's in the name. But this is going to be connecting everyone together out there. And, of course, if they're going to make this an airport in which fully is capable of providing space tourism, then they're going to be seeing a lot of adjustments to the airport itself, specifically the runway there. Okay.
Looking forward to that. Okay. Hey, I want to talk about this last item on the agenda. I know this is extremely important to all Houstonians. This is something that you covered extensively last week. We had several conversations about the suspension of hundreds of thousands of cases within HPD right here on KPRC 2+ now. What's the latest, sir?
Well, I'm going to talk about that part first, and then we're going to talk about this agenda item.
Okay.
That's cool with you. Okay, great. So where do we stand right now with the suspension of cases in this enormous scandal? I mean, that's how everybody within the department, Houstonians, have been reaching out to us. This is a massive scandal. You got to remember, this all started over 2 weeks ago now. Over 2 weeks ago. Chief Finner went out on social media to the platform known as X, formerly Twitter, makes a statement, says, hey, we've got a significant number of cases that have been suspended due to a lack of manpower. Sexual assault cases. Then Chief Finner comes out nearly a week later. He made that announcement on a Friday. The following Thursday, he then has a news conference and tells everybody, hey, it's over 4,000 cases, or it's about 4,000 cases, I should say, about 4,000 cases. I'm being told it might be over. That we suspended all investigations using a code for lack of manpower on these 4,000 sexual assault cases. And everybody at the time was like, well, how does this happen? Chief Finner, though, dropped the bombshell that he knew about this back in 2021. But at the time, gave a verbal command. Don't do this. And what happened was, apparently that verbal command from the chief never taken. But everybody that I'm talking to within HPD everybody I'm talking to outside of HPD City Hall are saying, hey, why didn't this go down as a policy? Why didn't this go down into a circular, which is what HPD does? And it didn't. So Chief Finner, and our latest part of this, Zach, and I'll go quick with this, our latest part is that yesterday we reported on this IAD investigation. Well, Chief Finner said, when I asked him, I said, why did you take the steps the way you did back in, now that you didn't do it in 2021? You're ramping up this investigation. You have all these officers now looking into these cases. And he said, you know, that's going to come out. And he said, my IAD investigation. And that was a key word that he said there, my IAD investigation, because if Chief Finner did know about this in 2021, but really didn't take the action that we're seeing that he's taking now, and IAD is supposed to be investigating this, well, IAD's Internal Affairs, they report to the chief. Internal Affairs responds to the chief. He directs them. So the question is, how is this being totally transparent and full of true integrity for
when it comes back to the chief?
Exactly what happened here in 2021 with the chief. Chief Finner last week announced there were more than 260,000 cases, Zach, that have been impacted with this suspension due to lack of manpower. He said he was going to have a news conference last week. He never did.
It's now Tuesday of the following week.
The chief. And I did text message him specifically these questions yesterday. What's happened overall? 2 assistant chiefs have lost their jobs, Zach. So let's get to this agenda item.
Yeah,
you want to get to
let's do it.
Agenda item 30 is about traffic enforcement, and the goal here is Chief Finner wants City Council to approve an ordinance allowing more than $1.1 million in funding from TxDOT. The city does have to match the funds here, but what this will do is give officers overtime to go after speeders who text and drive out on our roads and highways. So this is going after speeders, texting and driving. Never do it. Everyone's been guilty of it. Everyone's been guilty of it. Just don't do it. And that's what that agenda item has to do. But Zach, the bigger picture here with regard to these investigations, still, Finner has not held the latest news conference. We have questions about the full integrity of an IND investigation. And lastly, Houstonians really want answers as to how this happened and why it was allowed to continue after he knew about it.
Still a lot of questions. I know you will be pressing for answers. As always, if people have any questions, concerns that they want you to look into, they can email you at mdiaz@kprc.com. Mario, as always, thank you very much, sir.